Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. This video is how we can use assemblage to explore color, and I'm super excited because it's so much fun. I can spend hours doing this. So much about color theory can be serious, and of course one can devote their entire life to studying color because there's so much to learn. But color is also fun, joyful, playful, and it holds so many emotions and memories for us. So we each have a personal memory bank of color, and this exercise helps us unlock it. Now, what you're going to need are pieces of color. I pick some that are naturally appealing to me, but I also pick pieces that I'm not usually drawn to, as well as some colors that I don't even like. What I realize is that while I might not like a color on its own, it can be absolutely stunning in the right color palette. Now, you can cut your pieces out of magazines or old books. I used some of my daughter's children's books that she outgrew because they have vibrant, lush, just deliciously beautiful colors. Now I'm gonna pick orange and blue. This is one of my favorite combos, and these are complementary colors, so they have that zing to them. And I cut my pieces into various shapes and sizes, and I'm just gonna start laying them down. Now, I'm not going to glue my pieces onto the page, but you can absolutely do that. You can have like a little book of like a color palette book where you adhere your pieces to the page, and then when you go to paint, you can go back and look at, color palettes that appeal to you. But I just like keeping my pieces free because I just constantly reuse them, and there's a million different ways you can combine colors. So that's what I do with mine. So I'm gonna start laying some blue down here. And I love this neutral blue. So that's a really dark inky blue. I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on that or if it's reading it as black, but it is a very dark blue. And I'm gonna add some neutrals. And you can, layer your pieces as well. So I put this piece of orange down, but the whole piece is too orangey. So I'm gonna lay this blue over top of it, and that kind of tones it down quite a bit. And this is what I love about these pieces, is you can just play and have fun and experiment and be curious. And, all you're doing is just moving these pieces around. It really is, and it's very relaxing and meditative. Like there's no stress at all. It's such a playful process, and it takes a lot of the guesswork and the weight of color theory. It just takes all of that, goes away. So I'm gonna add that kind of lighter orange. So, okay, so this is my blue and orange color palette, and these are the bones of the piece. And I tend to use this combination a lot in my art. So now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna add, say, another color to the mix because, well, I want that orange over there, but I'm looking for another color that I can add to the mix here. So let me try a yellow. I'm not really feeling the yellow. And, I think, I'm not sure about that. I really like that, but then that's got to go. Nope, that's got to go too. Okay. So now I can add the yellow, and the yellow is picking up on that yellow, so that kind of works a lot better. And so can you see how normally I wouldn't think that, you know, adding this kind of a green and a green blue to the mix would really work together in this color palette with the yellow. I wouldn't naturally think that, but by me playing with these pieces, I can pull and push, and I can see what works and what doesn't work. And it's not the same as laying paint down and then covering it up. This is a very easy process. I'm just like, oh, does that work? No, it doesn't. Oh, let me try out this piece. Let me cover this up with this piece. So it's a much easier process. And now I really love this color palette, but I wouldn't necessarily think to combine these colors in this way and in this proportion to make a pleasing palette. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to still keep the blue and orange, but I'm going to show you how I can change the entire mood of this page by simply adding a lot of neutrals. And I'm not worried about, you know, light neutrals or dark neutrals or warm or cool. I'm just going for neutrals. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding different neutrals here. And I'm still going to let some of the orange and blue show through. I really think I need a larger working desk because it gets more crowded by the day. I'm not sure why, because I try to get rid of stuff, but I need more space. So, see, I'm just kind of adding a lot of neutrals here. And I'm working on my art desk, but usually I do this at the kitchen table. So I get out a cup of tea and I clear out the table, and it's a larger space. So so I work on it at the kitchen table, and that's just, it's such a great way to not only build up my creative muscles, but I'm also building up my style and my visual language, and I'm learning without even making an effort to learn, because maybe I don't think that these colors will go together, but in this particular proportion or pattern or shade or texture, it does. And that's the magic of it. I never know what's going to happen. So I'm still looking for neutrals here. And So can you see how the entire vibe of the page changed? And all I did was just bring in a lot of neutrals. So you can do this forever. Like seriously, there's really no limit. You can try to mix colors that, you know, even color theory says do not go together. You can say, oh, I'm going to mix this color and this color and this color, when everything you've learned up to this point says don't mix these colors. But if you keep on pushing and pulling and playing, the key is to play and be curious without any expectations. If you keep on just playing and putting pieces and taking pieces away, you might come upon a color palette that just really works. And then you can take a photograph of it and keep it, you know, so when you go to paint, it's already there. And I use this as an exercise. I don't, even if I come upon a color palette, excuse me, that I really love, I look at this as an inspiration. So I don't work off of it directly. When I go to my art journal spread or my canvas or my Bristol paper, I don't try to replicate the exact same color scheme, but I already have it in my mind. So it is going to influence me. And that's the way I work. But now I want to show you something else. These pieces over here are different than the first pieces. So my first pieces were mostly solid pieces of color, like so. And even this piece, it has stars on it, but it reads as blue. But these pieces are different because they have patterns on them and they have different color combinations. So I'm just gonna show you over here. So like I said, one of my favorite color combos is orange and blue, but this is a blue-green. And I would never think to combine this color scheme together, but I absolutely love that particular color scheme in this proportion. So the next time I go to paint, I might go, wow, you know, I really want to do this blue green with the orange, and I may not be able to replicate the exact same colors, but I already have it in my mind and I can work towards incorporating that onto my page. Now, this piece over here is also a orange and blue color scheme, but the orange is really tiny. And usually I use a lot of orange. So the next time I go to paint, I might think, okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of orange because that in this exact proportion, which is probably, I want to say it's about maybe at the most 10% of the orange and 90% of the blue gray, I might want to do that proportion because it gives the orange more weight. So I really love this piece. It's just so beautiful. And again, we have the blue-orange color scheme, but this is a really light blue. And usually I use a dark blue, like an ultramarine or an indigo, but I don't use a light blue like this, but I really love this orange and blue in this combination. Now, if it was reversed and all of this blue was orange and then this was, the orange dots were blue, I don't know if I would like it. I mean, I could experiment with it, but I know that I like this particular tone of blue in this proportion. And over here, so this is a gray pattern and there's a little bit of this green. Now, I wouldn't normally think to combine those two colors together. And so when I go to paint, I'm not going to find the exact same, you know, pattern, but I might find something similar, you know, like a gray piece of collage, like a patterned gray piece of collage that I might want to then use some green paint to kind of combine that combination. Like I really like this. And you know, it's got this little bit of blue here. So these pieces are different in that they have like a pattern and a color combination. So say this piece over here. So this is a drab olive green and a burnt orange. And in this proportion, it works. And normally I would not be drawn to olive green or burnt orange. I like I like an orange like this. But I'm actually really loving this pattern, and this might be something I want to incorporate into my art. So I pick patterns that I really love and color combinations. And I never know, I never know what I'm gonna get. So I'll give you an example here. So again, I'm gonna bring out my orange. So let's go like this. So we'll just lay down some oranges. Over here, and I'll put some blues. I might have messed up my whole page here. It's okay. They're just pieces of paper and I can move them around. Okay, so that's my blue-orange color scheme there. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just add some patterns and just see like what happens, like, wow, I really love that. No, I'm not liking that at all. And I'm not liking that. Maybe I'll add that there. Oh, but I am really loving that over there because that little bit of orange picks up on that orange. So do you see how this is like helping you learn how to kind of view color and how to build up your color muscles? And it's simply fun. Like, that's what I can't get over. So I don't know if that is gonna, I don't know how that looks right now. I might just get a little bit of it. See, just very little. And I think, see how I don't like that. That's too much and it's just not looking good. But if I just keep that little bit, then that works a lot more. So this helps you not only with your colors and your color combinations, but it helps you with proportions. And that's a key thing that I learned from doing this exercise. And so now I'm going to add a few neutrals here. And I could do this for like, I could make this video go to like an hour just by playing with this. So I'm going to wrap it up. But I hope that this video has been helpful, and it's my sincere wish that it can steer you towards viewing color theory in a more playful and intuitive way. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.